Hi, welcome back to my video. Um, what I wanted to talk about today was sensory overload, how I've dealt with it in the past, how I deal with it now, um, what I found effective, what works for me, um, all that good stuff. Um, so, first of all, I need to explain what sensory overload is. Um, Sensory overload is um, when information is coming through a 1 inch pipe. So you have 1 inch of information, and then all of a sudden it comes to here where it kind of bottlenecks a little bit, where it has to compress down smaller. So obviously it goes slower. Only a trickle of information is getting through here for a while. So your brain is kind of going, what the heck do I do? Um, and at least in my case, the first reaction was to get angry. Anger is the first reaction often. Um, and I just want to say, not a very good option. Um, it's always a better option to slow down, um, process the information. Um, as you go forward, you can let people know where you're coming from, what limitations you have. Um, I know I've mentioned that before and how very, very important it is that you let people know um, what your limitations are, and no different in this case. Just let people know, you know, every once in a while, I'm a little slower. Information goes from this size down to that size, so every once in a while, it'll take me a little bit longer. Um, People will usually understand you need to process information. If you let them know, that's way better than getting angry um, and then wondering why you're angry. Best case scenario, um, find an understanding person who says, "Oh, well, we normally introduce information in this size, but then when it gets to you, sometimes it has to compress down to this size. So why don't we just take the information we need to present to you, put it in those little chunks that will move freely through the big pipe, but also will move freely through the smaller pipe, so you don't have to change what you do at all. The information just comes through in those smaller pieces, and you can just move forward." Um, and that's great, and that's really good. A lot of times, what happens with me is I won't learn slow. I won't learn fast for that reason. I'll be a little bit slower in learning information because it has to go from this size down to that size. Um, so I'll learn it a little bit slower, but once I know it, I know it. And um, I probably won't forget it. Um, Another thing I've noticed is short term memory versus long term memory. Short term, not so good. Long term, really good. So, and that makes absolutely no sense, also. But that's the way it is. Um, an example from everyday life that I like to use. I walk to work every morning down a road that's kind of it's a little bit windy. So I always walk on the left side of the road, and I'm looking in front of me so that I can see the cars that are coming towards me. Um, or as my high school cross country coach likes to say, so you can see the cars when they hit you. Um, basically, it's planning ahead. You're looking in front of you, and you see that car coming, and you say, "Oh, well, I should get off to the side and let them pass." You know, um, that's just common sense, really. But it's those little things that help me, um, have helped me in the past, and it's those little things that you don't notice. Um, as time goes on, you won't notice that you're doing it, but it'll take much more effort in the beginning. Um, so just look ahead, plan ahead. I think that's very important. Kind of anticipating the sensory overload. Um, that helps a great deal. Um, anyway, no matter what the task is, no matter what your sensory overload issues are, I know that you can deal with them as I've dealt with them. I hope you can use some of the advice that I've given in this video. If your situation is totally different and none of this works, then oh well. I was just talking out loud and thinking to myself. That's great. But you can accomplish so much more than you know, so much more than you think. Just stay positive, be persistent, don't give up, and as always, as I always end these videos, stay positive, and I believe in you.